Do you have any questions you would like to ask me that I would respond to you with complete honesty and frankness?
Let me think about it. Well, you're one of the most consistent people I've ever met. I mean, since I've known you, you really have had a routine. You know, you drink a bottle of Chard, you exercise, you eat your meals that are sent from that chef, and you have your views about relationships and you have your views about theology, and you're very consistent, which is actually something that I really admire in you. You don't seem to be somebody who's constantly fluttering around and looking for the next thing to satisfy them, and you don't seem to be too confused in the way that a lot of people are in the modern world. But I just wonder if you ever consider a drastic change and putting yourself into a situation that that would be outside of your comfort zone. You know, because you are somebody that if I say, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to come skydiving with me? I know that you'd say, Sean, now I don't enjoy that kind of thing, and I'm not going to go skydiving with you, but if you want to meet me for a Chard at the Polo Lounge, then I'll meet you after you're done, you know. And I just wonder if sometimes the consistency and the ritual of your life ever gets to feel like a trap in itself. And do you ever want to just move to Nebraska or something? Or like, you know, marry a circus dancer or something, you know? Do you ever just want to have a paradigm shift? Or are you really happy, you know, in the cycle of life that you've clearly defined for yourself? Because as I say, the parameters of your life are very consistent and well defined. I just wonder, because I actually am looking for more consistency in my life, but because I'm so different than you. I mean, my CDs are not alphabetized, and I don't, you know, have a place where I file this, and I haven't archived all my things, and I don't know exactly how I feel about relationships. And I'm just wondering what it's like to spend 40 years having a system and a ritual, and then does it ever get to be its own, you know, trap?
That's a very complicated question.
Well, I'm just wondering, because, you know, I wonder, would you ever move to New York or something?
Oh no, I would never.
Or how do you envision your life? Do you want to, do you have a plan? Like, do you just want to, the rituals that you've created, is that the system that you want to stick to? Or do you ever want to venture outside of that system?
Well, in fact, although it appears that I follow this consistent ritualistic lifestyle, the fact is I do take extraordinary emotional chances on a daily basis. I really do. Because I'm an incredibly trusting human being. I believe what people say to me. I don't sign contracts. I shake hands. Mm-hmm. I believe in the cowboy ethic. I would love to marry, if I fell in love with her, a circus trapeze artist, preferably a rodeo cowgirl. That's more appealing to me than a female CEO of a major corporation who might be running for governor of something. If you put $1 million on the table and say try skydiving, the answer would be no, because of a fear of heights. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Not because I'm going to get out of my ritualistic pattern. I just don't like heights.
I understand.
I'm not going to jump off an airplane.
I think
but will I take chances, as
Yeah.
you suggest? I'm taking chances right now. Look, I am at the end, part of this website experiences that I believe that we live our our lives in 3 acts, from 1 to 30, 30 to 60, and 60 to 90. I am in the first scene of my 3rd act. I'm closer to the end than I am to the beginning. This is it. There are no dress rehearsals. So the curtain is coming down on the 2nd act, and what is before me is unknown. What is known is it's going to have nothing to do with the way I've lived my life up till this moment. And to that degree, I intend and am taking enormous chances and enormous risks. And this thing is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. The reason I mentioned it, I think, is because I remember that time that you came to stay with me in New York, and you stayed in that fairly uncomfortable guest bedroom of mine upstairs. And I just remember, I used to make you breakfast, and we would go on walks, and we went to the West Side Highway, and we'd watch the sunset. And I just remember how happy you were. And I just remember shattering your routine seemed to be so refreshing to you. And it surprised me, because you're somebody that I associate with holding to their routine. And it just made me feel like you should come to New York more, or go on a trip somewhere that you wouldn't expect yourself to enjoy. You know what I mean? Because I remember when you came to visit me, and we used to go on walks, and I remember how happy you were. And I just thought, wow, I didn't expect that. I thought you'd be like, oh God, where's the shard that I always drink? Or where's my, the car that I always rent? Where's the street that I always drive on? And you didn't seem that way at all. In fact, you were the opposite of that. You seemed so happy,
Look in my eyes.
Yeah.
Look in my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know when that visit took place. My guess is 4, 5, 6 years ago. But you invited me to stay with you at your place in Greenwich Village. And I remember this great brownstone walk-up thing, and I got to my little room, and there was just one bed. I mean, it was just all very basic, which it really is the way you live. I know that people presume that you live in this castle in the sky. Mm. And I remember us taking that walk. And I remember you taking me to some grocery store in the neighborhood where you bought some fresh fish and brought it home. And you had like a little outdoor garden or an outdoor patio. And you prepared a fish meal for the 2 of us to sit and dine in this lovely little garden you had and drink some fabulous wine. It was, and I stayed with you for how many ever days until you got bored with me.
Yeah, about a week.
It was one of the great vacations of my life. Extend that invitation to me again, I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay.
That's an example of me climbing out of the mold of living on the edge of Mulholland.
The mold is right.
And being there.
Yeah.
But please keep in mind it had less to do with the architecture and the itinerary and more to do with this.
Well, of course.
Because seeing you and being with you on your own turf is vastly different than our exchanges anyplace else.
Thank you. Well, I mean, anytime you're welcome, of course. I want to get you up to the farm and do some horseback riding. I think you'd like that.
I would love to do some horseback riding with you. That would be very
Well, maybe this summer or this spring you should come up, because I'm going to be up there.
Count me in.
You really should come, because I think it's good for you. I want you to have vacations. I mean, I need them too.
We both.
But I never had such a routine as I do now, and my work is getting to me. I think we both need a vacation.